2.
Well, hello there. Thanks for joining us today. We're back on this blessed, beautiful Friday afternoon in America and evening in Europe. Either way, thank you for taking the time to join us here today. Thank you to our sponsors, Honey, ExpressVPN, MeUndies, and Stitch Fix. I am happy to announce that on Friday, 2 Fridays from now, the 30th of November, the great Bill Wirtz will be here with us, which I'm so excited about. So if you want to leave questions for him on the subreddit, there's a thread up there, /H3H3 Productions. Been a wild week for us here.
California.
And California has been getting slammed this week. I'm sure you all heard there was an insane wildfire here in LA and Ventura County. And
starting with a shooting that we almost didn't even get to pay attention to because of the fire.
There's like the news cycle is like, it's just tragedy. It's sad, sad stuff. So yeah, right around the corner from my parents' house, there was a shooting in Thousand Oaks. And then the next night
day.
after, the frickin' whole town's on fire from a wildfire. You know, I read something, I heard something, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but pretty sure this is true. I did fact check it myself. There was 1 or 2 people that was in that shooting in Thousand Oaks that was also in the Vegas shooting.
That is unbelievable.
Imagine being like, it's like, dude, what? I mean, whoa, that's a mind melt for that person. But I do want to say, yeah, my parents were evacuated from their house. They were staying with us. We were luckily not that close to the fire, but it was smoky and there was ash everywhere. It was really scary. The main freeway in LA, the 101, was shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, it was apocalyptic out here. It was wild.
We just had the news on like the whole weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe it because it was
Couldn't
one
look
day.
away. It's like just everything's on fire.
Yeah, and you don't know if it could spread over to where we live, and just if the wind changes and goes the wrong direction, you know. But we were looking at a place for my parents just a week ago in Thousand Oaks, or it was Westlake Village, or where was it?
Yeah, it's Thousand Oaks.
Yeah, and just a week ago, and it's this really beautiful little community, like gated community, and it's in the woods kind of. And Thousand Oaks is like a nature preserve, so a lot of the decks, and they have trees coming out of the decks, and all the trees are marked, and it's like a protected area.
Right.
But I remember being like, man, this is pretty, like, I feel like a fire would ravage this place pretty easily. I was telling my parents. And that was a week ago. That whole place burned down.
Yeah.
The whole place, that whole community burned down. It's crazy stuff, man. Just there's been a real tragic loss of life and property, and I will talk about that more later because there's a lot of amazing footage and stories that came out of that I think is interesting and crazy wild stuff, dude. But before we get, now, as you guys can tell from the title, we have got to address a lot of the criticism that people have been saying against me. A lot of people are tuning in probably to enjoy an epic meltdown from me, to watch me make a fool of myself. So
that's why I'm here.
Yeah, Dan doesn't usually. He
I sleep through the episode usually.
He has it on mute usually.
So I promise we will get to that. It's going to be fireworks, guys. It's going to be fireworks.
Explosive.
But before we get to that, I do want to do a goof of the day to kind of lighten it up a little bit here with this vape god, Tommy, the vape god. Somehow this epic troll got on Fox News to, I guess, he's speaking on behalf of the, how do you call those, Dan? The Jewels.
Yeah,
which is these tiny little vape
pen.
It's like a pocket vape pen that apparently, like in middle school and high school, everybody's hitting these Jewels, which is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, smoking was already not cool. There was a couple of people that like went out in high school to smoke a cigarette, but now all of a sudden with vaping, it's like cool again. And these kids are hitting these Jewels at like 16 years old. So this guy got on the news, and it's incredible stuff.
Specifically with regard to flavored varietals that have helped propel the explosion in the use among the young. Here now, two folks on very separate sides of this issue. Jeanette
God.
Neshwat is a
With the
family and
jewel, hitting
emergency
it
room
hard.
doctor, and Tom Scabelli, a blogger at Barstool Sports, who affectionately goes by the name Tommy Smokes
up?
because of videos like
Yes.
this.
First thing I'm gonna try, sick jewel trick.
Yeah, that guy rips fat. He's definitely.
I can't believe that they're playing this video.
I know. Do they think? I really think that Fox News always does this, where they'll bring. Like I was watching this video during the Kavanaugh, that whole thing. They brought on a guy who says he's an actual witch that does incantations against him. And he's like the most absurd looking person you can imagine. It's like they always bring on these people that you can't tell if they're serious or not, which are like the perfect punching bag to their.
Yeah.
So this guy's apparently, I think she's taking him seriously, which is wild.
Overdose on jewel, can you?
Wow, that's
He's
pretty
trying not to
cool.
laugh.
All right, Tommy, sell me on why these flavored e-cigs shouldn't be regulated, even when teens are using them in these increasing numbers.
Well, look, I'm 22 years old, so I'm using them legally, and honestly, they're just cool. Like, they're cool. You rip them. There's nothing cooler than blowing a fat cloud like
That's right.
that. They
That's
call
true.
me the Colossus
That is
of
true.
Cloud. It helps my swag. It helps my drip. I just love walking around. It's really good for getting chicks, too. So, honestly, I started about a year ago, and
Yeah.
It does help get chicks. I know that for a
I
fact.
haven't looked back since.
I have a question. You use your cell phone quite a bit?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay, so why don't you rig it up to your phone, and that way you won't have like the actual calories burned by grabbing your phone, so you can vape.
What on earth?
What kind of
Wait, I have
question
to
is
pause
that?
it.
Talking about.
She completely lost me. Wait, where is this going? Hold on. Whoa. Wow.
Vape and kind of check email and text at the same time. You should have it
That-
like right off the side. Okay, that'll be your invention. I'm giving it to you, so you can
Yeah,
develop
I'd
it.
vape like this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but you don't have to keep switching devices. All right,
That's genius.
humor.
Did she write that? Did she pre-plan that gag or what?
She's like, I'm trolling the troll.
She's like, yeah. The whole writing team came together and we decided you should vape out of your phone. Well, I don't know if this goes anywhere, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Tommy Smokes, the vape god.
What a legend.
For your
So
forgetting
funny.
how
Rules.
Yeah. You know, he went out there on Fox News into the lion's den and he fought the good fight.
He held his own.
Yeah, he you know. And for those of you wondering, does vaping help you get chicks? Yes. Hila didn't truly love me until I started blowing fat clouds in her face. So shout out to Tommy. Now let's get to the reason we are all here today. I've been thinking a lot about this. Let me take a little sip of water here. This is difficult for me to talk about because it's something I've been thinking a lot about of late and trying to wrap my head around it and think about it, you know, honestly and critically and trying to deal with things in a healthier, more mature way. And it's I have a long-winded kind of story here that I hope that will be interesting and maybe helpful for some people, and maybe help some people understand where I've been coming from. There's been a lot of criticism of me of late. There's been a lot of people that have said lots and lots of videos. And I have a natural aversion to criticism specifically, which is something that I've been learning about myself through therapy, which I've started recently. And so throughout my career, let me start from the top. I'm getting ahead of myself. What have people been saying about me recently? Okay. That I'm a hypocrite, that I prioritize money over everything else, that I've thrown friends under the bus, that I'm ignorant and poorly informed and spread misinformation, that I'm arrogant, that I cannot handle criticism, and that I've used people, just to name a couple of the reoccurring themes. I'm sure there's so much more you could say about me. And let me just say this, okay, for the record, that I am guilty of all of those things. And I'm not going to quantify it or make excuses or anything. I've done those things. I'm guilty of those things, and this is something that I've been aware of myself over the last 2 years or so, is that I have been kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place mentally. And I want to try to go through this and make sense of it, okay? So it's been kind of a slow-moving process. Like, it's been like a self-fulfilling process in a way, where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more holed up. And I went, and, you know, early on in our YouTube career, I went very early on to somebody that was, like, universally liked. I remember in, like, 2016, I could do no wrong on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, on Reddit, everybody loved us.
Mm-hmm.
We were voted, like, Reddit, you know, or Reddit's YouTube channel of the year or something in 2016. And, like, the concept of being criticized on that level was something I hadn't dealt with. And I think the problem was that people had me very high on a pedestal back then. I mean, people thought very highly of me. And there's no doubt that at the time, it definitely started to go to my head as well. And I'm pretty sure, you know, looking back, that I started to become more arrogant and overconfident, and on some probably deep unconscious level, a feeling of almost infallibility, that I could take anything on. That when I had like this, and I really did. I mean, it's hard to come to terms with that and to confront that, because at the time you'll never rationally be like, oh, I'm out of control, I need to tone it down, right? And so because of this combination of like overconfidence and feeling like I could take everything on, it led me to make a lot of mistakes. And then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really processing them in a healthy way. Like, for example, the Leafy thing was, and the Wall Street Journal thing and stuff like this, where I kind of just handled things in a really overconfidence, really, thinking that I can take on the world and not do wrong. And then when I end up fucking up, it comes out. Then when I get criticized, I completely shut down. I'm learning now through therapy, which I've just started doing I've only been doing for like a month or two. But I have a psychological problem where when for whatever reason that I don't want to get into, but the way I was raised is that when I'm criticized, I psychologically shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And so before I became like famous on the internet, I had a problem with criticism, but it was so much less amplified. But kind of like when you become famous, whatever, for lack of a better word, it amplifies certain aspects of yourself. And it definitely puts you through a gauntlet of sorts of kind of learning about yourself on an emotional level, and brings out all your flaws, amplifies everything. And so that thing of not being able to handle criticism in my personal life was something that I could get by on my life and not really have any problems. But then when you have like hordes of people on the internet criticizing you, it can get so overwhelming that it actually can cause, for me, like a real psychological shutdown. Which, what I mean by that is like, I just feel, it feels to me so powerful, like it feels like somebody died. Like I get so emotionally, and so, well, the result of that one is like extreme lethargy. Like I'll just lay down on the carpet with like no will. And then the other thing is that like, obviously I get super defensive and super irritable and super aggressive towards those that criticize me in a way that's not healthy. And instead of learning from criticism, deflecting it all the time and making it the world's problem and not mine, right? So that's kind of where my head was after these first blunders I made from overconfidence, I would say. And did, things that I regret. And it shattered my ego in a way, in a real fundamental way, that I've also learned about myself, is that I'm in my, and again, this is through therapy that's been really helpful for me, is that I'm in my best, most creative place when I have that confidence and that kind of, not not a place of overconfidence or arrogance, but just feeling like that people like what I'm doing, that I like what I'm doing, that it should be a wholesome, great thing. And so I think that's one of the root problems of why I've had so much trouble creating videos for such a long time, is because I've kind of lost my footing. I've lost that wholesome place. And so everything became very difficult for me, having shattered my ego and never having addressed that or deal with it or confronted it. And so what happened from that is that it set off a chain event of defensive behavior and caused me to be depressed. So I want to make clear that I'm not using depression as an excuse for acting shitty. It's actually the opposite. I was not processing and handling criticism. I was losing my confidence. My ego was shattered. And therefore, I couldn't make videos and all this other stuff. And that's what caused the depression. And so what happened now is that the depression actually made everything even worse, right? It made it even harder for me. So it got worse and worse. I get criticized more and more. I get more and more defensive and closed up. And I want to make clear, you know, I just kept shoving it all deep down and becoming more and more depressed, essentially. And it's only been recently that I've kind of hit rock bottom a couple months ago, where I was so amped up. So the depression, it amplifies all my negative feelings, right? That's kind of what the problem was. And worst of all, it made me extremely irritable, which is, I don't know if you know, like, irritable on that level, but it's the worst, dude. It's the worst, because not only do you piss people off, but you start to hate yourself too. Because you're acting irrationally, but the emotion is so strong that it's like it can't be ignored. Like, just with Ela, for example, at home, like, a lot of times when I would get aggravated or upset, I would direct my frustration towards you, even though it had nothing to do with you, because I was so irritable. And in that moment, I know that it's fucked up and I'm being an asshole, and I hate myself so much for it. And I see that it's upsetting you, and then you get angry at me. But it's like, it's just this overwhelming, irrational.
And I've even learned to recognize it, and I would know that it's almost like you're not being yourself right now.
Yeah.
But it's such a cycle that I can't not get upset, because you're being.
Of course, dude, you're
being crazy. So
you have every right to be upset. And I know that.
And then it's just such a cycle, like, you can't get out of it.
Yeah. So because of this crazy irritability, I was really just making everything more amplified. I was reacting way too strongly and way too negatively to almost everything. Even the slightest annoyance, I would lash out at things and people that were completely blameless, super moody, irritable, guilty, always in my head about something. And even a negative comment or somebody even criticizing me in the slightest would, like, set me off, and I would just shut down. Even people that, like, respectfully would disagree with me would turn me, like, bitterly against them. So bad, right? I feel like I was being attacked, like it was, like I said, it feels like somebody's dying. I feel like I'm physically being attacked, almost like a fight or flight. So for the longest time, being stuck in my head and not being able. So the first 2 years, I've always felt like I'm not been able to grow or learn or maturing, which is so difficult because I have felt so stuck in, like, this really dark black hole of negative feelings, just such an awful place, and being so frustrated because I'm like, why am I stuck here? How do I get out of here? What do I do about this? And growing more and more desperate, by the week, and just falling deeper into that black hole. And so I would say about a month or two, or about 2-3 months ago, is when I kind of hit rock bottom, and I was like, I was just so miserable that I was so tired of being myself that I was willing to do anything, to be anything I want. I didn't no longer want it to be myself, because I was prescribed antidepressants a long time ago, And all throughout my life, doctors have been trying to get me to take them, but I've always not wanted to take them. And I think the reason for that was probably that, well, one of the reasons was that I always felt like I hadn't done enough to fix myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of had this unreasonable expectation that I should be exercising 2 hours every day and eating salad for every meal, and that somehow was going to cure my depression. And until I had done that, then I had no right to take antidepressants.
Mm-hmm.
But I think another aspect was that I felt that it was weak,
Mm-hmm.
or that it was
Or that
like
it would change you.
that I was weak, or that it was somehow giving up, or that it would change me. I was afraid. I'm not a big drug user because I don't like altering my state of mind, and I don't like becoming reliant on drugs. But I was afraid that it would change me. And I think at that rock bottom moment, I felt so strongly that, you know what, if it changes me, good, because I don't want to be this person anymore. Whatever. I remember hearing, I don't know why I was thinking about this quote, from Paul McCartney and John Lennon talked about acid use. And Paul said he never really loved it because he was afraid of it changing him. But John loved it so much because he wanted it to change him.
Mm.
And I always thought, what an interesting perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I felt both of their perspectives now. You know, my whole life I was like, I'm scared to change.
Mm-hmm.
And then from going from that, like, I'll do anything to change. I'm praying that it changes me. So I had this bottle of antidepressants in my bedside, and I said, you know, after dealing with this and hitting rock bottom, I started taking it. I had nothing to lose, and I couldn't really go on anymore like that. And so, you know, I'll say this. The antidepressant is not at all what I thought it would be. The first 2 to 3 weeks was a little rough, I think, as your body adjusts to the medicine, because there was kind of, well, first of all, I was in such a bad place mentally. It was kind of hard to tell what was going on in my mind and what I was feeling. But it definitely made me feel kind of like foggy and loopy and zoned out. Really zoned out. Like sometimes I would just be like, just totally absent. Like I remember once in the driving lot of Ralph's, we were driving and like there was someone crossing the street.
And you almost didn't see it.
Well, I was driving super slow and he was walking slow, watching my car. So I was never going to hit him because he saw me coming. But like he was standing there waiting for me to stop for him. And I was staring right at him. But I was just inching forward. And he was like, "Are you going to stop?" And I was like, "What are you talking?" And I didn't see him. I was just so like, so I actually almost gave up on the antidepressant. There was a time where I was like, "Oh, dude, this sucks." But then I would say around like 3 or 4 weeks, because everybody says it can be rough in the beginning, and then it starts to work after like 3 or 4 weeks, and the side effects go away. I had a lot of anxiety too about being able to perform, being able to come out in the podcast or make videos and feel like I'm myself.
Mm-hmm.
And after I kind of proved to myself that I was capable of that eased a lot of my anxiety about taking it too. But what I noticed about the antidepressant after all the side effects went away and the fogginess and all this annoying stuff is that it's kind of crazy, but I was not irritable anymore.
Yeah.
I was still depressed. I was still anxious. I was still miserable. But what it did for me that has been so amazing, and I'm so thankful for, is that it, first of all, removed this irrational irritability and kind of gave me the foundation and the tools to start seeing things more for what they are and not this kind of crazy, irrational, irritable madness that I was experiencing the world through. And so that for me was the first huge breakthrough I had in dealing with my situation. And I would just notice it in things mostly at home with Ela and stuff.
Yeah,
things
something
that,
that would usually cause somehow a fight for no reason. All of a sudden, we were like, oh, wow, we did this without fighting.
what
It's
didn't
like,
even get a little
what
upset.
happened?
Yeah. Almost removed my irritability completely, and I'm telling you, this was like a godsend. I mean, life-changing, really life-changing. And it hasn't changed anything else. I'm completely the same.
Yeah.
I'm just less irritable, and it's amazing. What I learned about antidepressants is that all it does is blocks your serotonin receivers. So there, as I understand it, and I could be wrong about this, but it's called a serotonin uptake inhibitor. And so your body produces serotonin, which regulate your mood and your happiness and contentness and stuff like that. And so this drug blocks the receptor that absorbs the serotonin, so it makes more serotonin available for your brain to use. So it just makes you a little more. It makes your moods a little better, really. And again, for me, it didn't change me at all, except that my irritability completely went away. And so things that were making me crazy before, I was able to see it for what it was. Which, dude, I can't.
It's really little things. Like, it's just irrational. So all of a sudden you see it as like, oh, it's just a little thing. It's nothing. You know, where before it would set you off into like...
ruin my day.
Yeah, ruin your day.
Or we would get in a fight, and then it would ruin... And then I would feel bad about snapping at you.
Yeah.
And it would... But, like, how was it for you when I started, like...
Yeah, I noticed it immediately. All of a sudden, like... it's almost like we switched. All of a sudden, I seemed irritable compared to you.
I know, I noticed.
And I'm not an irritable person, I think.
No, you're not. You've always been like super sane and grounded and great. And I would notice situations where I was like,
it's almost like we switched a little bit, because I would be like, oh, come on, something would upset me, and you're like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So,
but your reactions are very
immediately.
Yeah,
definitely. But you're the same person.
Yeah. So that was the first really important step for me, because I could now see things clear. I could analyze things clear. And, boy, what a difference. I mean, my goodness. There's so much stigma against antidepressants, and I really, truly... I'm guilty of that.
Me too. I thought, you don't want to take it if you don't have to. I don't even know why.
I feel like a loser.
I just had that feeling.
Well, there is like, you feel almost like a loser, like you're weak, like you failed to solve your own issues.
Yeah.
Now, before we started doing YouTube and stuff, I wasn't that irritable, right?
No.
So it kind of made me feel more like how I used to remember being, in a sense, that I always prided myself on being a more calm, rational person. And that kind of, the self-image I had kind of melted away and replaced me with this really grumpy, obnoxious person that I was starting to hate. So that was huge. I mean, that's huge. And I'm still on it, and I'm so happy that I'm taking it. I remember in college once there was... I was having awful anxiety, and you guys might know I had like generalized anxiety disorder. I could have benefited so much from antidepressants in college. And I remember there was a sign at my very progressive school, UCSC, and it said something like, it had like Prozac, and it was like Prozac Nation, making some artsy claim that like, oh, we're all over medicated and we're all on Prozac.
Oh, really?
And the undertone being like, you don't need
don't
this,
take it?
you're weak, you're a sucker if you take it. And I remember seeing that being like, yeah.
That's interesting.
Who needs that shit? And that was a very popular sentiment, I would say. It was kind of like an anti-corporate, like we don't need your medicine. Also, I'm a person that's very, like I said, I have an ego problem. And so admitting to myself that I'm weak and that I need the help of a medicine, for me, was difficult to accept, because it in a sense felt like a weakness that I couldn't handle it myself. The truth is about that I've learned is that reaching out for help outside yourself is the first and the most important step in recovering from a situation like this, because it's not weakness, it's truly is strength. because you have to get over your own ego, and you have to accept the grace and the help of other people and the tools. I mean, this is a well-researched, funded, backed by incredible, intelligent researchers and doctors and psychiatrists. And to just write that off, because it's like, I mean, that's stupid. That's not strength. That's dumb, right? So that was one aspect. And now the antidepressants are helping, but I'm obviously still depressed, and I am still, not cured by any means. Excuse me. So what was the next really important step is that I was recommended a therapist from a friend that I've been doing for about probably about a month or 2 months, a month and a half. And the therapy has been, I've always been skeptical about therapy too. I think probably for the wrong reasons, because it feels like weak to say to another person, I need help. But again, it's like to think that you cannot, it's so hard to understand what's going on in your own mind. Like, again, therapists, my doctor is a PhD. I mean, this guy has learned, studied, schooled. This guy knows how the mind works, and he's trained to diagnose it and to almost debug it.
And he's probably seen so many people and so many patterns
seen it
that
all.
he can immediately
Yeah.
put together something from what you're describing that you would never even see.
Yeah, he's seen it all. I mean, but the thing, stuff from my childhood and the way I was raised and the way that I react to things, there's psychological explanations that are so important to explore so that you can deepen your understanding of not only yourself but the world. It gives you this incredible empathy for how other people's minds work and how they're affected by their environment. And as I touched on earlier, there is a very good psychological explanation for why I get so defensive and shut down from criticism that I don't really need to get into. It just goes back to the way I was raised. But just learning about that and knowing about that and talking about it is so therapeutic and it's so important that it's given me such a good vantage point, and it's given me kind of the tools and a little more support and foundation to even come here and talk to you guys about this like this now, and to think about it in more of a healthy way, and to the last time I came in here and addressed criticism on the podcast, I was ranting and raving and looking like a freaking lunatic. And that's just the symptom of everything that I was describing. And so for me, being able to come here and talk about this with you guys, I think is important for me. Because I see the podcast as, if nothing else, honest. When I sit here for 2 hours live, unedited, over the course of nearly 100 episodes now, the hundreds of hours of footage of me unedited, it's nothing else but at least honest, right? Because I cannot hide who I am. I cannot hide my defects. I cannot hide my stupid comments. I cannot hide my short temper, my douchiness, my shitty hosting. If I recorded this and put it into a video, I would cut all that shit out.
Yeah. Or you'll try a joke and then we're like, well, that didn't come off right, so let's do it again. But here, you can't.
No. And to be honest with you, this podcast has been one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. Like, physically, if you talk about it from the standpoint of just sitting and doing it, it looks like it's easy to do because you just sit here, you show up, you talk, and you know.
Yeah.
But from a psychological, from a mental, from a lot of other positions, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do because, one, there's no takebacks. And so not only are you, the fans, forced to see me more clearly of who I am, but I am forced to see me more clearly of who I am because, and I'm someone that's criticized YouTubers and people on YouTube. You know what you see? It's very it's very nice when you post videos and you can manicure it and put it out, and you put it out for the people to see you one way, and you get to see yourself one way too.
Yeah.
Because you cut out the stupid shit and you forget about it, and then people see the video and they're like, "This guy's great," and you're like, "Yeah, I am great." And you forget about, well, you're kind of a fucking asshole.
There was an hour of you being an asshole and then 10 minutes of you being good.
Exactly, Ela. And so, I'm not surprised that so many people have watched this podcast and been like, whoa, that's not the guy I thought he was. Or people who were making videos about, like, all the things I mentioned. Because, yeah, it is all in here. Everything you guys have said bad about me and that you've noticed, all my bad personality traits and all that, it's all in here. You know? I can't lie about that stuff. It's all here. So it's been difficult, especially with this condition I've had of being, like, depressed and irritable and having a psychologically unhealthy response to criticism. But it's all played out here.
And it's kind of the only way to do the podcast. Like our first 5 episodes, maybe we were trying to edit down the footage and thinking about it like we used to think about a video, but it just wasn't right. Like you're cutting down a conversation and then you're making decisions on what to leave, and it's not natural. And
exactly.
We came to the conclusion that it has to be like this.
That's right.
Otherwise,
because a podcast needs to be honest. It needs to be uncut because you've got to see the essence and the soul of what's there.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like you were saying, Ela, we would try to cut out a part of me saying something stupid, or not just me, but the guest. Or
we were like, oh, this is a boring moment. Let's
this is
cut
boring,
it.
you know. And that's just. I think a lot of people were feeling it. We were feeling that it's like, this isn't weird.
Yeah.
And so we took this leap into doing it live, and it's been really tough and really challenging and very exposing of me. I'm here bare naked in a way. But I also think it's been really amazing for me, too, because it's kind of brought me here now, where I've been able to just take, finally, a close look at myself and see it see it more clearly in a way that I've craved so much these past 2 years, to just feel like I'm maturing and I'm growing and I'm becoming a better, more wholesome person.
Yeah.
And I'm just stuck. I'm just like, why am I so fucking stuck? It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, you would say that to me a lot too.
Just stuck.
Like, just feel like I'm stuck. Like, that's what
Not
you
knowing
would say
why
a lot.
or how or where, but just feeling like I'm just pinned to the floor, or in a hamster wheel. But I think it's been an amazing experience in that way, that we've all been just, here it is. I said those things, I did those things, I am that person. And it's good. It's good to acknowledge that and feel that and be like, it's good. You gotta accept that. Can't just walk blindly, and I mean, it's just so messed up, dude. Like I said, it's just a black hole. And it's not, what I didn't understand is it's strength. It's not weakness to come before yourself and confront your many shortcomings as a human being, instead of ignoring them. And I think it was too painful for me. My ego was hurt, and it's just too painful for me. It's so weird. The psychology of it is so weird, You'd think it would be so easy to just be like, yeah, you're right, I fucked up. But it can be so painful. As Elton John famously said, sorry seems to be the hardest word. Yeah, I don't know why it can be so hard. Maybe not for other people, but again, this is my specific problem, I think, that I'm now learning about myself. And I said to Hila something recently. I'm still depressed, but for the first time in such a long time, I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Which for me, it was this black hole. There was no escape. There was no answer. All I could think of was just permanent darkness. And now, suddenly, with the help of friends, with the help of therapy, with the help of antidepressants, with the help of Hila, who's been with me this whole time, there's just, finally, I can kind of see a path forward to getting better. A path to walk towards the light, you know. And, you know, with a kid on the way, my God, I don't want to be...
Yeah.
I want to be better than this, right? Like, that's going to be tough. Tough enough. I don't need to make it harder. I want to say, you know, I readily admit that I've been at times an awful host, a terrible interviewer, awful habits as a podcast host. You know, speak on things that I don't know nearly enough about, speak with certainty about things that I shouldn't. And I definitely need to do better on these fronts. I need to be better. I need to do better. And I expect myself and I want to be better. I've been, you know, I've heard someone say, I forget who said it, but they said if you're under 100 podcasts, then you really have no idea what you're doing. And I really hope that's true because this is number 93, and I know I still have so much to learn and improve. As a person, as a host, as an entertainer, as a human being.
And we only have 7 to figure it out.
And yet, despite all that, so many of you have continued to support us and show us love and appreciation and to see the goodness and the sweetness in me, despite my best efforts to thwart you at times. I think part of me was I felt so distanced from the fans in a way recently because on one hand, there's people that hate me. And so I'm like, oh, fuck them. I don't even want to read the comment because I'm too fragile. And then the people that love me, I feel like because I hated myself and didn't love myself, that the love that they would show me wasn't genuine, that I couldn't accept it. It was just them being nice or whatever. I don't know. And so I think that, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't accept any of it. It was just too much for me. But I do want to say that from the most sincere and appreciative place for the people that have continued to believe in me and see something good in me and something here that you like, that it is amazing and it means so much to me. And I wanted to thank you all for your kind comments on the episode. Before the Tom and Christina episode, I had made a aside that nobody seemed to like the podcast. And there was a huge outpouring of love and support in the comments, telling me that I should keep it up and that you guys love it. That was unexpected and very much appreciated in a time that I really needed to hear that. I have thought about quitting the podcast, honestly.
A lot.
Yeah. Because it's been such a pain, you know. It's been such a pain. It's been so painful at times. But I hope there's been good things. It's easy to focus on the pain and to feel the pain and talk about the pain. But I hope there's also, you know, another side to it. And if you do see that side, I thank you so much for sticking with us. And in closing to this long monologue, which has gone quite a bit longer than I expected, I want to say that if I have disappointed you, I'm sorry. I know I can be better, and I want to be better. And to those that have continued to support us and spend your Friday, your blessed Fridays here with us, I want to say thank you for believing in me and looking past my imperfections and giving me the strength and support to push through it. And I do think that it's important for me to talk about these things because I think there's a lot of people out there that can relate to my feelings of this whole depressive attitude and putting off getting help because somehow, for whatever reason in your head, I'm sure everyone has their own reasons, but that it makes you vulnerable or weak or whatever it is. But I hope that people can take anything from this, that it's actually your weakness and your vulnerability is part of what makes you human, and acknowledging that and reaching out to help is strength, not weakness. Weakness is shutting yourself off from the world, and then you can fix all your own problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's just bitter, self-loathing weakness. And I hope that anyone out there that is feeling, feeling anything similar to what I said, that you do try antidepressants and therapy. There's a reason they're studied, developed, and used by millions of people and professions. This is a science. This is a discipline. These people are amazing, and they're here to help you. Anyway, I don't know. I hope that was interesting, at least. I don't know if that's what you all wanted to hear from me, but that's it. What do you think, Hila?
Good.
Anyway, thank you guys all for listening and bearing with me through that. So, love y'all, and we will be right back after this short break. Nobody wants to feel like they're overpaying while shopping online, especially during this holiday season. Gifts, travels, ugly sweaters, it all adds up. But you know there's an easy way to always get the lowest price? It's called Honey, My Dudes. Honey's a free shopping tool that automatically saves you money while searching the internet for the best promo codes when you shop online. That means that wherever you're shopping, you're getting the best deal without even trying on your favorite sites like Amazon, eBay, J.Crew, Walmart, Sephora, Expedia, and more. So much more. Honey has over 10 million members, and each user has saved on average, passively, without even trying, $28.61. They've got 100,000 five-star reviews on Google Chrome Store. There is no reason not to add Honey to your browser today, because let me tell you this, it's free, it works passively and immediately. All you do is go out the checkout, and it enters the matrix, and it's like, boom, here's your coupon. It's that easy, my dudes. Try it out. You got nothing to lose. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/H3. Joinhoney.com/H3. Honey's the easiest way to save money online while you shop online. With all the recent news about online security breaches, it's hard not to worry where my freaking data goes. Making an online purchase or simply accessing my email could put my private information at risk. You're being tracked online by social media sites, marketing companies, and weird frickin' pervs in the bathroom of airports that are stealing your credit card and your nude pictures. That's right. If you're using public Wi-Fi internet anywhere in a motel, hotel without VPN, you are putting your butthole shots at risk. And I've sent Ela many, and trust me, I don't want anyone else seeing those. I cannot live with that being leaked. Okay, that's why I decided to take my privacy back using ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN has easy-to-use apps that run seamlessly in the background of my computer, phone, or tablet. Turning ExpressVPN on protection only takes one click. ExpressVPN secures and anonymizes your internet browsing by encrypting your data and hiding your public IP address. Protect yourself with ExpressVPN, and it costs less than $7 a month. That's a lot less than it's going to cost you to fix your credit after somebody steals your stuff, okay? Or the emotional damage of strangers seeing your butthole. Let's put it that way. Protect your online activity today and find out how you can get 3 months for free at expressvpn.com/H3. That's expressvpn.com/H3 for 3 months free with a 1-year package. Visit expressvpn.com/H3 to learn more. This is the year you can finally tackle your holiday shopping early. And guess what? You get everything you need for you and your loved ones at MeUndies. That is right. MeUndies has the coveted micromodal fabric that is 3 times softer than cotton. And if you've never felt this fabric, get ready to experience pure bliss and underwear form. Now, as you guys know, I've made famous how stretchy and breathable this MeUndies micromodal is. Okay, now, to spare you a shot of my genitals, I'll put a hand here. But name a fabric that you can drape over you like a body bag and still be in perfect comfort and breathability. This stuff is a game changer, okay? You got to try it. They're really true. This is bliss, okay? Now, they've got holiday prints. They got new prints every Tuesday. That means you got no excuse not to celebrate the holidays right down to your core. And why stop at undies? MeUndies is launching holiday prints in lounge pants, as you can see, and onesies as well. Both are made from the same beautiful, coveted micromodal fabric. How can you not get you and your loved ones a matching pair of this breathable, beautiful MeUndies micromodal? So, listen up. First-time purchasers, when you get MeUndies, you get 15% off and free shipping. Whoa, that's a no-brainer, because you get 15% off the most comfortable pair of undies you will ever put on. To get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guaranteed, that is a no-risk proposition. Go to MeUndies.com/H3. That is MeUndies.com/H3. If you're like me and most guys, you hate going to the store, you hate shopping for clothes, you hate picking out clothes. I liked when I was a kid and my mom used to dress me. I'm not going to lie. It's so much more convenient. It's so much nicer. And let's face it, she's got better taste. That's what Stitch Fix does for us guys today, okay? They're an online personal styling service that finds and delivers clothes, shoes, accessories to fit your body, budget, and lifestyle. Go to StitchFix.com/H3 and you tell them your size, what style you like, how much you want to spend on each item, and you'll be paired with your very own personal stylist who will handpick items and send them right to your door. Then you try them on, pay only for what you love, and return the rest. Shipping, exchanges, and returns are always free. There's no subscription required. You can sign up to receive scheduled shipments or get your fix whenever you want. Stitch Fix styling fee is only $20, which is applied towards anything you keep from your shipment. And that's how we do it, guys. Going to the store and all that, you don't got to do that, okay? All you got to do is go to StitchFix.com/H3 and you'll get an extra 25% off when you keep all the items in your box. That's StitchFix.com/H3 to get started today. StitchFix.com/H3. Give it a shot. Thanks for watching. And we are back. You know, in the spirit of uplifting you all, this podcast, and keeping spirits high, I will not talk about the fires devastating the state until we've watched a funny video first. Okay? Now,
fair deal.
Do you want to watch a wedding dress explode or my new favorite show now on TLC is the best network on television. Every show is an absolute golden nugget. You know what? We're watching
Sounds like
this.
you want to talk about that.
Wedding dress. So, 90 Day Fiancé, as you guys know, is my new passion in life. But I have to wait a week. And
Ethan is like spending time on the subreddit.
Dude, I'm in so deep.
And then he's like,
there's a guy.
Larissa and the other guy are in jail. And I'm like, who are you talking about? And there's like 90 Day Fiancé. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's fascinating, right?
But you like talk about them like it's a family member.
It's so freaking amazing. And like there's this really vibrant community on Reddit of 90 Day Fiancé. And they've got all these great memes and discussions. And it's fantastic. It's so good. But I need something to watch in the week between. And so the new show that I found is called Extreme Cheapskates. Now, these people are cheap on a level that is probably should be classified as a mental illness because
it's unreal.
It's not like getting what's on sale at Ralph's. It's not like getting these guys. Like there's a guy,
and they're like proud of it too. It's very interesting.
Right? They're all like. They all have significant others that are super embarrassed by them, which I find
but they
interesting.
Have a marriage and a house. Like it's very
exactly. They all seem to be in really healthy relationships.
Yeah.
But like for example, there's this one guy. He's like 40 and he's retired. He's like, I have financial freedom. I'm retired from being a cheapskate, and none of my other friends have this this freedom in life. And this guy spends his whole day biking around for 12 hours, not because he loves biking, but because gas is too expensive, checking phone machines for money,
For coins.
going to diners and checking the cushions for coins.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that doesn't sound like financial freedom. That sounds like you could just get a job and work less hours. But they have got like this need to...
Just save money in any way.
I think it's this need to feel like...
They got a deal.
They got it.
Yeah.
They got that one up. And the result of some of this stuff is absolutely bananas. So this is one of my favorite guys here. This guy's such a legend. He's such a legend that during the first season, they only had 6 episodes. This guy was in 2 of them. By the way, on Amazon Videos, you can decide to buy a season HD or SD. And I went super in the spirit of this. Oh, by the way.
Oh, God.
What's going on there?
We were going to make a video, and it didn't work out. And all that's left is a stupid fucking haircut. Look at the back.
You got. I was going to say, you got to show them. Yes, thank you.
I love that the video didn't work out, but you're keeping the haircut.
Well, yeah, I know. It's just, we had this whole idea for a video. It was going to be so good. And I cut my hair for the reaction and all these sketches, and we're sitting down editing it yesterday, and I'm just like, we're both like, this isn't good. I just cut my hair for nothing. You know? Sometimes I'll walk outside because I feel completely normal. And I'll forget that my hair looks like this. And I'll walk outside without thinking with a walk shredder. And you're just that guy. And you know, some days I'll look in the mirror, like last night, and I'm like, kind of a good look.
Almost normal.
Almost a kind of a good look.
Yeah. If it was a little more symmetrical.
Yeah.
The way you
Maybe-
Kinda
have
hot.
your head tilted to the camera, that side looks okay, but then no, that side's a problem.
Mad Max? Cool hipster. Fallout? $5 coffee.
$10 coffee.
$10 coffee. So, you know, been interesting because I buzzed my whole head and I took a freaking razor blade
Yeah.
and razor blade my scalp. And that was gnarly, dude. But it was actually kind of amazing, I have to say.
So weird.
Oh, yeah. It was painful. It was bad. I have a new appreciation for people that shave their heads with razors. But it was kind of nice. I think I'm going to buzz it all off and bick my whole freaking head. It's like, it's such a freedom in a way because your hair is going to grow back all beautiful and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, how often do you get to see yourself just, bald? Everyone at home who's bald, so like, fuck you, dude. Every day. Every day, asshole. It's not, being bald is not a meme. I'm appropriating bald culture. Where was I? Oh, yes. Extreme Cheapskates. Let's see what we have here. So, yeah, I was saying this guy, they only had 6 episodes the first season. Oh, no, what I was saying is that on Amazon, you can buy a season HD, or you can buy it SD and save $1. And you have to dig. They have a more options button. You have to go in there and dig. And in the spirit of extreme cheapskating, I saved $1 on this season. I was very proud in honor of these guys.
Most people consider paper towels disposable. I reuse them. Spruce it up, bring it a little back to life.
Spruce it up, baby.
Voila. I could reuse these paper towels 3 to 5 times.
Roy estimates that over the last 10 years, he's saved nearly $2,000 just by reusing paper towels. But he
He
also
does that with
knows
dental
how to
floss,
squeeze
too.
savings out of his toiletries.
If the blades, which are kind of flimsy on these disposables, if they get dull, I sharpen them on the striking part of a book of matches, give them a whole new life. When you can't squeeze any more out, and it appears to be empty, that's the end, and they just toss it away. Wrong. Cut your tube. And there's a week's worth still left in there. I buy cheap 2-ply toilet paper, and I get 2 rolls out of 1.
That I
Get
object
twice
to.
as-
That I strongly object to. You need those 2 plies, buddy, especially at your consumption level.
We've seen what he eats too in the other
Oh,
episode.
do we have the clip of him at the restaurant? Because I need that one.
No, but we
Okay,
have the
we'll
one
find
at the.
So we
theater.
got to watch that one.
As much
This is
as
nothing.
anybody
I mean,
else
this is
does for
nothing,
the same
but-
price.
I do not enjoy 2-ply toilet paper being separated. I just kind of refold it so that it's a little thicker.
Toilet paper is a lot like life in general. The closer you get to the end, the faster it seems to go.
That's a pretty wise
That's deep.
thing.
Wow.
So the funny thing about that I've noticed about these cheapskates is that they spend so much time. It cannot be a worthy investment of their time. I guess they don't work. That's the thing. But like the guy will spend an hour plying and then re-rolling a roll of toilet paper to save like, I don't know, 25 cents or something.
Yeah.
And it's like,
a big
damn,
saving.
these guys have. But you got to see this guy at the restaurant because that really ain't nothing. Let's see here. Extreme cheapskate.
Well, why don't I look
restaurant.
for it and you watch the other clip?
Here, I got it. It's too late.
I don't know that it's a clip.
Oh, the movie date. You've got this one.
Yeah.
I can't believe Roy brought me to the movies. I haven't been to the movie in, I don't know.
So she's begging him this whole episode to take her on a date night, which I guess they do once a month, or is it once a year?
Once a month.
And so she wants him just to buy him a soda pop and some popcorn. And he's like, "Whoa, come on, babe. What are you, crazy?" So he has a novel idea that some of you could use at home, and if you were so inclined.
How long? Oh, so nice.
Are you hungry?
Yeah, I've told you I wanted something to eat. Popcorn.
So, Mike, could I have a banana? It's a big waste of money to buy food at the snack bar or concessions in any movie theater.
Here, keep it low.
Yeah.
People smuggle food into the movie theaters all the time. I don't like it, but they do it.
By bringing my own snacks, I save at least another $10.
Eating a banana at a
No,
movie
it's
theater
not.
is the saddest shit I can imagine. It's like, damn, a banana? And she's begging him the whole time, I want a
That's
Coke
my
and a
stuff.
popcorn.
You said you didn't want the apple.
I don't want an apple. I told you what I wanted when I came in. That I wanted popcorn, candy, or a drink or
Pretty
something.
insistent on that, aren't you?
Well, I'm in a movie.
All right.
This
Let me
theater
go
is
throw this
completely
away.
empty, by the way.
Is it even like what is even going on in that theater?
I think they went to a crazy matinee.
They did go. To
Yeah, they went to
matinee.
like the cheapest show in
of
the
course,
state,
of
or it's
course.
just completely empty. You know, probably it's like 3 p.m. on a, I don't know, Tuesday. Who knows? But here we go.
My lucky day. Popcorn.
Through the garbage, he grabs a bag of popcorn. He's literally rummaging through the garbage.
Oh come on.
He does the decency of cleaning the cup out at least, Dan. Don't judge him too
This
hard.
movie theater gives free refills with their popcorn and soft drinks. So I found a few containers in the trash and surprised my loving wife.
So, explain to me how this isn't theft, by the way.
Can't beat free.
I mean, that's theft, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like how he pocketed a bunch of straws, too.
And a straw, too.
Oh, I was just going to ask you for the straw. I thought you probably wouldn't have gotten one.
Come on.
Well, nice. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Aren't
You know,
lovely?
this lady, after being together for how long as they have, she knows not to ask questions. She's just like, thank you. You made it happen. Let's not probe too deep here.
Yes, I am.
So they didn't show up, but at the end, on the way out, he fills up the popcorn and the soda again. The restaurant shit is crazy.
I couldn't find a clip of it, but
Well,
Yeah,
there's
with-
the other family that does it. I saw. This is important, you guys. I might be.
He's like a borderline freegan. You
A
guys know what-
freegan?
Yeah, have
What's
you ever heard
that?
of that before?
No, tell me about freeganism.
Freeganism is people that I don't know if they exclusively are always vegetarians or vegans, but they have this philosophy that it's okay to eat anything as long as it is being thrown away. So it's like a whole diet based off of dumpster diving, essentially.
There was a guy like that in the show.
Yeah, there was.
I think this guy's down for anything as long as it's cheap. So this family, this is gonna last one I show you guys, but I urge you all to buy this on SD and save that $1. So this guy, their house was so wild. So he takes his family out once a year with change he saves all year to treat them for enduring his cheap ways. So he takes them to a buffet, and this is wonderful.
You can imagine the dismay on everyone's
This
face
is his
when
son.
he pulls up to a Chinese buffet.
This is his whole family.
I couldn't believe it. All I can see was food stacked upon each other. We were promised fine dining.
This is fine.
This guy's a legend.
Feel the veneer of the table.
Feel the veneer of the table. What a legend.
What about one time eating something that we want to eat that's really nice?
Yeah, you're gonna have whatever you want.
A buffet?
You're gonna like the food here. You guys don't seem very hungry. You want to sit and talk for a while.
Oh,
so
no,
I
we're
can-
just upset. We want to leave. That's what we want to do.
You're not upset. Honey,
Just, we want to leave. And we want to go to fine
have
dining.
you ever trusted me? At least give it a try. We at least agree to give it a try.
I guess we're here. We're
That's
not going anywhere else.
his wife's aunt showed up at the last minute, who always helps him out, I guess. And they're like, "Oh, guess Auntie's coming with us," and he was like,
I gotta
"He had like
pay
a
for
meltdown."
one more.
Yeah, this guy's a legend.
Lack of appreciation. All right, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna make sure that everybody's happy. All right,
Oh,
folks.
hell yeah.
There you go.
What is that?
That's our food.
I love how he lays the plates on each other.
Yeah, on top of
Thinking
it.
he was going to pay for 3 people, but there were 6 of us.
You pay for 3
That's
plates?
delicious. I know I got your
You
favorites.
only pay for 3 plates?
If I have more than this number of plates, then I have
That
to pay
guy's
for more
just
people.
like, wait, what?
Food.
I thought you paid for each of us to
Guess
eat.
the
For
end
us
is the
to
best,
share,
so.
that was unacceptable. I was so mortified that he would even suggest it.
Oh no, they didn't
Oh,
want
they
that.
got the-
So the guy we just watched and this guy does the same thing. So at the end of the meal, they start taking out doggy bags, and then everyone in the restaurant who hasn't finished their food, they start hitting them up and saying, "Can I
wow.
take this home?"
Yeah.
That to me was the best part of the show, and I don't know why.
And this guy paid in coins too, right?
Yeah, and they don't show him pay. He whips out like a pantyhose full of pennies. It's so good. You guys gotta watch this show.
Maybe they started that YouTube trend of like, buying.
Like their Bradberries were buying
Yeah.
like Gucci store with pennies.
Yeah.
That guy's like, dude, that's just my life, bro. I'm not even trying to make
Not a
videos.
prank.
Yeah. What's the prank? I highly recommend this show. It is so entertaining, you guys. There's so many more great clips. These clips don't even do the show justice, if I'm being honest. But enough about the funny, lighthearted stuff. Let's bring it down. No, actually, I do want to talk about the California fires because I have a lot of incredible footage that I want to show you guys. It has been so nuts out here. Like, I want to emphasize how it was just one day, all good, and then in that evening on the news, it was like the whole freaking state was on fire.
Yeah.
I heard a stat that up north, that's the campfire, right?
Yeah, correct.
That this fire was spreading at the rate of 1 football field per, I don't want to say it wrong, 1 football field per second.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds, well, maybe. Yeah.
Well, up
I mean,
north.
it's just hard to fathom it going that
Yeah.
fast, but I guess that's, yeah, probably.
Well, it explains
The
why
numbers.
up north, especially, there's 631 people missing.
Wow.
that there's a good chance they're dead.
So bad.
Because this fire was moving so fast and so furious that people were chilling in their home or in their car in the mountains and didn't even realize they were in an evacuation zone. And then all of a sudden, you see some ambers coming over the ridge, and by the time you're packed up in your car, the fire's consumed the whole.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a town up north,
Paradise.
too ironically
yeah.
named. So this town of
Probably
Paradise
was really beautiful. I love North California.
Yeah, I mean, it's really beautiful and foresty, but the state is so dry from a lack of rainfall that basically everything's just ready to go up, which is what makes these fires so severe. The population was 27,000, and in this city, nearly 12,000 homes and other structures were burned down.
Whoa, 12,000?
Yeah.
It was at 6,000.
Like, the whole city. I mean, like, a whole city was burned down. 12,000 homes and other structures. And 631 people unaccounted for. 7 people died in their cars in Paradise. The blaze was so hot that aluminum wheels melted. It burned in Paradise up north, 142,000 acres. I have no way to fathom what that means, but I have some videos I want to show of kind of all these people survived and were unharmed.
And we had the Woolsey fire going on in our area, and that one seemed crazy. And then once we heard the numbers of the one in the north, it's like, oh my God, it was way worse.
Yeah, the destruction there was unbelievable. I think here, because LA is so densely populated, the evacuation here was way crazier. There was 170,000 people who were under mandatory evacuation. There were 600 structures destroyed and 3 fatalities in this fire, and the one in LA and Ventura County. I want to show some footage. Again, all these people.
I thought there were more.
Well, here, that's what it was, according to the stats I have in front of me. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan.
Those were, I had pulled that from CBS News, and they had published it around noon today, so it's about as up to date as it can get.
Let me see here. So this is, this stuff is so, it's like out of a movie. Like, I can't believe this stuff. How does that frame up for you, Dan? Is that okay?
Yeah, perfect right there.
So this is just, where was this from?
God.
This is the Paradise campfire, the one up north. So you can imagine, like...
Describe it for the audience.
So it's a guy... Thank you, Dan, for reminding me. So this is a guy driving down a road, and, I mean, it's hellfire.
Just hell.
Fire on both
straight
sides.
up in hell.
Fire
All
on
around.
both sides, amber, wind, smoke, and it's the highway to hell, man. And this fire was so, like I said, spread so fast and so furiously.
Because it was so windy all of a sudden.
Yeah, the Santa Ana winds, which is like pressure from, I don't know how the science works, but it gets really windy and really dry. And so this guy could very well just be at home, not knowing anything's going on, and then all of a sudden he's trying to escape, and here, this is what it looks like. And you can only imagine how hot it would be in that car.
Yeah.
A lot of people met their end from the car, literally.
That's so horrible.
So this is one look here.
The car can also just stop at any moment because of the lack of oxygen, and your engine just like turns off, and you're just you're stuck there. Yeah.
That's That's horrifying.
That's really horrifying.
Well, also trees could fall on the road. I mean,
yeah.
I never thought of lack of oxygen though. That's crazy. I don't know which one. Oh, I think this was from Canaan. This is right.
The one in our
Right in Woodland Hills. I mean, we've drove up and down this road a million times. So, how do I full screen? Here we go.
Or Agora Hills.
How's that frame up? That's okay?
Yeah, looks good.
Please, God. Please,
So she's driving what is usually a really beautiful and scenic road down to the beach, down to Malibu. And it's just...
Oh, yeah, that's the Canaan
Yeah,
Tunnel.
we've
Yeah.
been through that drive so
all
many
the time.
times.
So she's going through a tunnel underground, and as she emerges on the other side, you can see the amber red glow start to emerge.
Oh my
and
God.
she comes out of the
Jesus.
tunnel, and it's just
Wow.
like...
That's such a scary drive to do in such a time because it's like you drive through mountains. There's
It's already.
Yeah,
there's
you're
no
driving
going
along a
back.
cliffside too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Please, please. Oh my god. Oh my god, please let me out of here. Please.
It's just smoke and fire and amber and ash. The visibility is like 1 foot.
Yeah.
Please, God.
You can hear the crackling.
Wow.
How the hell does she record this? That blows my mind that she was able
I
to
think she
drive
was
and
just
record.
holding the wheel, you know, and got her phone in the same hand.
I mean, and then so it looks like she's out because she's in another tunnel, and she's coming out, and then once again on the other side of the tunnel is just endless fire and ash and smoke. She opens the window. You hear that?
Yeah. That is the worst road to be on at this time. It's a scary drive
nightmare.
on a regular day because it's so twist and turn and mountains and.
I'm amazed that she was able to record this.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you? Oh, is there someone in front of her?
Hmm.
Oh my god. Yeah, I haven't watched this deep, but yeah, that's.
But she makes it, right?
She's fine. I saw an
Yeah.
interview with her afterwards. She's laughing about the experience. She's totally fine. But I don't wish that experience on anyone. I mean, that is so terrifying. But my God, she is a hero for. I mean, imagine you're driving for your life and holding a phone, recording it on one hand. That's something. She needs to be like a professional camera lady or something because she's got. I mean, she's got potential. Yeah, incredible stuff. Canaan is a landmark in Los Angeles. It's this beautiful, really beautiful canyon road that goes down to Malibu Beach. So it's weird to think of it from a beautiful scenic route to that.
Just
engulfed
like
in hellfire.
Hell.
So there's more yet. What have we here? I just thought this was so crazy. Here you can see that the freeway full of cars, fire creeping up the side of the cliff, and then a helicopter dumping water on the freeway as cars are still on the freeway. I mean, the fire spread so fast they didn't even have time to shut down the freeway and evacuate it. So you can see these people.
Where's the hell? Oh.
You'll see. Yeah, I'm going to play it.
Video.
It's unbelievable. I mean, that's crazy. Look at this. Helicopter is literally dropping water
Oh my
on cars on the freeway.
That was a nice
Jesus.
I think if we're going to stay from getting hammered, we probably want to stay.
Imagine being in that car. You're just like, all right. And the worst part is that people are stopping to look. So there's traffic, like stop and go traffic right next to the fire.
Why would you stop?
Yeah.
Why would you stop? Get the hell out of there.
But it's, dude, I think it looks like, you see this? They're all
Oh my god.
right next to the fire, just stop and go traffic.
It's just because they're
Maybe they
all
closed down the lanes.
merging to
Oh,
the
yeah.
left.
Yeah,
You're right. They're
they
keeping
probably
them
tried
away.
to keep them away. Yeah. Whew. That is so fucking scary.
But that's just a testament to how fast this thing spread. Like, look at this. Just on the freaking freeway.
Oh my god.
People got actually splashed.
Yeah.
Drifted. He could see where it was going to drift because of the wind.
Crazy, huh? And I do want to say, I was up at 5 a.m. the night that it broke, and these firefighters are freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Like being a firefighter in California, or, well, any firefighters are amazing. I have a lot of respect for firefighters in general, but these guys were grinding it out. 5 a.m., raging
so
inferno,
scary.
and they're out there all like 24 hours just fighting this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I had a profound appreciation for them, and there was a lot of police involved and a lot of. I saw a clip of a dude. I know they say you're supposed to evacuate and everything, but I saw a dude. He had like it looked like a pretty poor house, and he had like a farm and animals and shit. And his whole neighborhood. I was watching this live last night or not last night when it was happening, and his whole neighborhood was engulfed in flames, and this dude is just there with the garden hose, putting out ambers, and it looked like he saved his house, man. I mean, he was just there with a frickin' garden hose, like, against this force of nature. So, huge respect for these freaking amazing people out there. And even now, the fire is still going, you know.
I didn't know it's still going.
It's still, I could be wrong, Dan, it's like, what, 60% contained or something?
Yes,
So
the
it's still
Woolsey
raging.
one, the one close to us. And yeah, I mean, the one up north is still raging as well.
So that's what it's hard to appreciate that, like, now that kind of the dust has settled in the city, this fire is still raging on, and these guys are still fighting it.
I just can't imagine that moment you come back to your house and it's gone. Where do you start? It's like...
I just looked it up. Woolsey fire is 70% contained. The one up north, the campfire, only 45% contained still.
Gosh, gee whiz.
Many really luxurious, huge, expensive houses burned down.
Yeah, in
which
LA
probably had
specifically.
so much like architecture and art in them and whatnot. Like, it's crazy.
I heard
Those
specifically,
houses in
I
Malibu.
hadn't heard if it had been confirmed whether or not his house survived, but the director Guillermo del Toro, which Eli, I know you're a huge fan of.
Faces of Water.
The
Oh,
Shape of
Faces-
Water guy. But he has a huge private collection of artwork from a lot of really famous artists in his house. And
the first thing I thought about when I heard about all the like.
I think it burned. I think I heard it burn.
Did he? Oh, that's
Let me-
painful.
let me,
That's crazy because he had a bunch of really awesome pieces.
I might be wrong about that. Maybe you guys can fact check that. I'm curious.
I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, I know, that was like as of a day or two ago.
It says
that
only
he was
minor
threatened.
smoke damage. So his
Hey,
house
okay.
was spared.
Okay.
Guillermo. Good for
Miley
you.
Cyrus lost her house.
Yeah, a lot of super rich people, which is good in a way that because these are people that can take it. But on the other
Not
hand,
good.
there's
Right,
a lot.
not good, but they can.
Well, their
They're-
lives are not ruined, but
Right.
that's not to dismiss the pain
No.
and suffering that they'll surely endure
Yeah.
from losing all of their worldly belongings.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Can't even imagine.
Um,
And Kanye.
Oh
I
yeah, that
heard
was a yeah.
Kanye hired private firefighters to watch his house and protect his house, which was interesting.
God bless.
His
I didn't know you
house
could do that.
survived it.
Him and his neighbors too, evidently, which that
His
is.
neighbors were thankful for him, but it was his.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Is that
Yeah,
he not just to protect only his
Yeah,
own house, but like to
yeah.
protect his whole neighborhood. Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that, but I mean,
I had-
props
Yeah, what do
to
you think of
Kanye.
that?
That's-
That's a little like private firefighters. I don't know. That seems dirty a little bit.
Well, they
Well,
were
I-
saying his house is worth 60 million. So I think
All right. fair
when you
enough.
have that much to protect,
well, you're saying when other people's houses are burning.
Well, it's just that, you can't afford the private firefighters, so your house burns. Is that really fair? I mean,
Well, the world isn't fair, and you
Yeah,
can
fair
afford
enough.
an army of firefighters. God damn it!
you go for it.
Apparently,
Yeah, no, I
though,
don't
he
blame
saved
him
his
for
whole
doing it.
neighborhood.
yeah,
Right? Yeah. No.
'cause,
That's. I mean, that is good. That
Probably
happened.
helped the firefighters a lot because they didn't have to come
that's true.
fucking waste resources on.
I guess my thought is just
Out.
these private
It's
firefighters. If
weird.
nobody pays them, do they just stay at home? And they're like, well,
I
we're not being
think
paid.
they're probably not necessarily firefighters, just like
Right.
it's probably like ex-military kind of stuff.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But I had the same.
It sounds
reaction, Dan.
weird.
Yeah,
It's
it does sound weird. I'm trying not to be cynical about it because my
Right.
first impression was like, yeah, exactly what you.
Right. Must be nice.
But on the other hand, it's like, you know what? If you got the money, if you got it, flaunt it.
Oh, for sure. I don't blame Kanye for doing it. Hell yeah.
But I bet you in the end, it probably did help the firefighters a lot because they didn't have
That's
to worry about
true.
saving that
Sure. Sure.
neighborhood. He's like, start with my house, but then, help other people if you can. I got to say, I don't like talking about politics, and I don't like talking about Trump, and I'm not a forest ranger, obviously, so I don't know how to analyze this statement, the validity of it. But Trump's first response, and as someone that lives here, I want to read this to you. There is no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in
Talk to the
California.
mic.
Oh, thank you. There's no reason. Is this better?
Much better.
There's no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in California, except that forest management is so poor. Billions of dollars are given each year with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement of the forest. Remedy now or no more federal payments. This was his first statement. He did end up saying a lot of nice things and encouraging stuff, but, again, I'm not a park ranger, so I can't assess his statements.
All of that might be completely and perfectly valid right up
Yeah.
to that last sentence where you suddenly threaten pulling funding. Like, have that fight after we've stopped the fires, maybe, sure.
Yeah, my problem was just, like, as someone that lives here is, like, I don't know. I feel like the world needs a little more tenderness,
More compassion.
a little more compassion right now, and especially in these times when we're so divided and everything's so political. And I don't know. I just felt disappointed that our president was making a political point or using it to make a point or to attack people when people's houses were still burning, people were dying in fires.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I mean, you might be right. I'm not even going to get into trying to analyze who's right and who's wrong, but I just wish that there was more freaking tenderness and compassion in the planet for each other.
Right. I mean, if there may be a lot of validity to what he's saying about mismanagement and things that can prevent it, but when it's an ongoing disaster, it's not over. Like, people are still dying. It's like, just next month, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we can do better.
Yeah, I don't know. And Donald Trump really is a role model for a lot of people. A lot of people look up to him and they emulate his
followers.
behavior, and I just think, I don't know. It'd be nice to see more compassion in the world and less of whatever this is. That's all. And so I thought it was relevant. Just a little disappointed by our leader. I mean, he leads all of us, not just his base.
Yeah.
He's still the president of California, even though Californians hate him in general. So, I definitely am going to donate to support the people that have been affected by this. I was trying to research the best place to do it. The mayor of Sacramento, which is the capital of California and just south of this really incredible fire up north, straight from the horse's mouth. Is that derogatory? Is that a relevant saying? The horse's mouth?
I have no idea.
It's very bigoted against horses.
Shit. Straight from the mayor's mouth. If you want to help the victims, please don't send supplies, as the evacuation centers say they have been inundated. Those working on the front line say that giving to the Red Cross or Habitat.org is the best way to help. So these are some good recommendations from someone directly involved in this to give you some ideas if you want to help. I'm definitely going to donate myself. So there you go. I just feel awful for everyone.
Yeah.
It's just this thing going on in California. These wildfires are just they've gotten so out of control. Every season, I was watching a documentary on Netflix that was really interesting about it, about a guy who's been following, I forget the name of it. Maybe you can look it up for me when you guys are back.
Sure, I'll check it out.
It's about a documentary crew that follows firefighters over the course of like a whole fire season.
Mm.
And the firefighters are saying that in the past 10, 15 years, it's been getting progressively worse, and the season's been getting longer because there's the change in weather and the change in climate has produced less rain in California. And so everything's more dry, and it's just making the fires way worse. There's a lot of dead trees. There's a lot of dry trees, and California has a ton of wilderness. So it's incensed due to the change in weather, just a huge matchbox, just a huge. So every season, like this one now, Fire Chasers. Thank you, Dan, on Netflix. It was really captivating watch.
I gotta watch it.
Incredible footage. Last year, the one in Ventura was the
That one
worst
was
in history.
Unbelievable.
It was the most destructive in California history. And now this year, the one up north beat that record
Yeah.
already, and it's still burning. Ventura County, I don't know what's going on. Those poor guys, man. I'm from Ventura originally. They're just getting crushed, man. I feel so bad for them. 2 fires, a shooting. They had that shooting, and the next night, before they could even mourn for the loss of like 11 lives, I think it was, 12 lives.
12, yeah.
That the freaking county's on fire.
Same people that needed to mourn had to evacuate.
Exactly. Man.
Rough.
Probably, if I had to guess a result of all the gay people.
What?
Bring in the wrath of God.
Is that Alex Jones?
No, there's like all these preachers that say all the fires and everything bad happening in the world is because of gay people. I swear to God.
The Westboro Baptist.
Not just Westboro. I mean, people like more reputable than that. Like people with actual...
Yikes.
I'd have to look into the specifics of it because I don't want to say anything not true, but I've seen lots of clips of preachers being like, oh, all the fires out here in California is because of the gays.
So gross.
You know, when you rub 2 dicks together.
What do you expect to happen? Yeah.
When you rub 2 dicks together, it causes more than just semen to erupt. It causes sparks.
It's like 2 sticks.
2 sticks rubbing together. God said no.
Oh, my God.
I rubbed 2 big sticks and a whole fire burned the state down. If that ain't the gays, then I don't know what it is.
Here,
That's why God says use lube, because if you rub dick dry, you could burn the whole state down.
Oh, that's
is
a good
this
point.
what you were talking about? Is that something?
Oh, Ela's got
There it is. Pastor blames California wildfires.
Here
on
you
state's
go.
embrace
Ela's
of-
all over this. Let's see. Pastor blames California wildfires on state's embracement of LGBTQ.
Definitely.
Yes,
That
sir.
is a reasonable stance right there.
Now Trump says that it's because of the poor forest management, and the liberals say it's because of climate change. But I have an alternate theory that it's the gays.
Jesus.
Now, when 2 men rub dicks together, it can cause more than just ejaculate. Known for inflammatory claims, Pastor Kevin Swanson.
Is that a little subtle pun there? Inflammatory claims?
Maybe. It is
Have a
underlined.
little fun with it, yeah.
Pastor Kevin Swanson is drawing a link between California's devastating wildfires and the state's embrace of same-sex marriages. Well, it sounds foolproof.
Yep, wrap it up. We
says,
found the reason.
God's punishment of the Golden State for legitimizing the sin of homosexuality. Imagine being God and you hate gay people that much. The first God must be really closeted or something, because he hates gays like way too much. The first gay pride march occurred in San Francisco in 1970, and then San Francisco legitimized homosexuality in 1972, he said. In 2005, California state legislators became the first state in the nation to pass the same-sex marriage law. 2018, well, okay. You're going to have to draw more correlation than that.
Well,
what is
that's
Jim
crazy.
Baker, Zach?
He's a priest with similar views.
Can you guys find a video? I want to watch a video of one of these guys.
Sure.
Now, a lot of people say that climate change is making the state dry. But what I say is that it's dry butthole that's causing the fires. What I say is that the gay people are having way too much fun, and it's causing all these dang fires. Please donate to my church, because I need another private jet. What else we got here, folks? We got, what the F we got? Men with beards are more attractive than those who are clean-shaven.
Really?
I agree.
Really?
New study finds.
Huh.
Dan, have you found that to be the case? You seem shocked by that.
Well, you know, not all of us can be.
Has having a beard not helped you?
There are statistical outliers, I guess you could say.
Well, just imagine how rough it'd be if you were shaven.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
I mean, have you been beardless in the past, Dan?
To be honest, very rarely. Like, not since I was a teenager. Basically, I've had a beard.
Well, I'll tell
continuously.
you, I've had a beard pretty much since I could, and I'll tell you that when I clean shave, I feel like a monster. I feel
it's
hideous.
not good.
You know, also, it really, like, if you come to kiss me or something, it feels horrible, too.
If you don't
when you
maintain that
shave.
perfectly, it becomes like sandpaper.
Yeah, I hate it.
But the thing, I think the real ticket for me, well, this guy's handsome as fuck with or without a beard, so I mean, you know, show a guy like me, and be like, here he is with and without, like. But for me,
well, apparently they did a study and they showed.
How much are you likely to want to
people-
fuck this guy?
They just showed people probably, you know,
I guess I
random
should read
guys.
this. But I do think in my case, the beard, it just hides my face. And I'm going to be honest, and it's fine. I'm not that insecure about how ugly I am. That is one thing I'm comfortable with. But if you criticize me, I'll shut down. But
I don't know if that's what it is.
it covers my face. My details are not that good. I've got a tiny chin. I've got chubby cheeks. Everything going on here is not beautiful chiseled. I don't look like Superman or whoever this ass. That's the 50 Shades. Cover it as much as possible. You can see my nose, my eyes, my eyebrows. That's okay.
I don't know if that's what it is, but I agree with the statement.
With the premise of the study.
You think I look better with a beard?
Yeah, and I
Yula
think
looks horrified
that-
when I shave.
No, I think that about everybody though. I do think that it looks better. And I don't like a long beard though. That
Yeah,
I
sure. No, there's
really
a cutoff
don't
at
like.
a certain point.
Well, that's actually what the study found too, right? That
Did they check about that?
All right, well, let me
yeah,
read.
there's 4 tiers. There's like clean shaven, a little bit of stubble, a decent amount of stubble, and then like a full beard. And the decent amount of stubble, which I think was 10 days no shaving, that was
Max
the
sexiness.
highest. That's the sexiness.
Let me read this for you guys. Men who have full beards are seen as more attractive than men who have just a light stubble, according to results of a new study. They don't say what this study is, so I don't know if it's reputable in any way, but it makes sense. Researchers found the widely celebrated attractiveness of bearded stars like Jamie Dornan, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Chris Hemsworth is apparently no coincidence.
Doesn't hurt that they're incredibly handsome as well.
Yeah, exactly. The most beautiful men in the world are found attractive. Although, could that be a cultural phenomenon? Because I feel like in the 50s, having a beard was
Could be.
seen as kind of like
It might
schlubby.
be a trend right now, you know.
I think it's a
even until beards are that's kind of like a new thing to come back, if I'm not mistaken. You know.
Well, it definitely became like super hipster to have the long
Yeah.
beard.
To buy like beard oils and
Yeah.
shit. Let's see. As part of the experiment, male subjects were photographed clean-shaven 5 days after shaving, 10 days, and then after a whole 4 weeks without shaving. 8,500 women were asked to rate the men on attractiveness as a long-term romantic partner. Heavy stubble, 10 days, was found most attractive, while full beards grown over 4 weeks came second. Oh, wow, they like the full, even more than the light stubble. Light stubble was third, while clean-shaven was ranked least attractive.
Look at that.
You know, shaving is so annoying. I hate shaving to the skin on my face and all that because it
and-
irritates your skin.
And I feel like that's part of why I don't like it too, because I know that it doesn't look comfortable.
Like you shave your legs. Imagine doing that on your
Mhm.
face. I mean, geez, Louise. I like razoring like some parts, like my neck and the back. I use a razor for the back of my neck in the shower. That's changed my life.
Mm.
But this is so. The reason I grew a beard to begin with is because it's so irritable. I keep getting like pimples and dried out and oily. It's a whole goddamn thing. I'll
Have
tell
you ever? I know this is a weird question, but have you ever had a professional shave where they use like a straight razor and like somebody does it for you?
I don't know that I have, Dan, and that's so strange that you would ask that. No, I'm kidding. That wasn't that weird of a question.
It's honestly, I did it once.
Sounds nice.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it seems nice.
And it doesn't irritate you. I mean, that's the biggest thing is the razor is so sharp that it doesn't make you break out the way a normal razor does.
Do you have a fear during that procedure that they're going to slit your neck?
Yeah, Sweeney Todd style, just fucking shoot you down the
I
chute.
think I have
put you
a
in a pile.
irrational fear that they'll just be like, whoops. Got him.
I was nervous. It's freaky. I mean,
It's a
you
lot
got a
of
guy with
trust.
a razor sharp utensil to your neck. It's a little uncomfortable, but
seems nice.
I like
It was
that.
nice.
I would go for that.
I like that this article is on Yahoo Style.
That's where I go.
uk.style.yahoo.com. Yahoo. I love all these tech companies trying to like exist in the shadow of Google. Yahoo Style.
But
the research paper concludes that beards consistently render men with an older, more masculine, socially dominant, and aggressive appearance. Oh, damn, girls are fucking crazy. I want a man that's aggressive and dominant. Beards may be more attractive to women when considering long-term than short-term relations. I'm looking for a man that's socially dominant and aggressive for a long-term relationship, as they indicate a male's ability to successfully compete socially with other males for resources. I think you're looking way too much into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took a weird turn.
I think it's a fad. Of course, not everyone can grow a full beard. It all depends if it suits you. Okay, whatever. Tell me, what else has Google Style got to tell me about the world? Yahoo! Do we have any clips of those crazy preachers?
I was trying to find this Jim Baker guy, but I can't seem to find any evidence. So, Jim Baker, if we've sullied your name unfairly, we apologize. You may or may not.
The
hate gay people.
gays. Now, many people think that.
Whatever. It's such a stupid even.
Many people think that. You don't think I should continue with the whole preacher thing, or
No.
Oh, don't continue. Okay. He was hitting the abort on that one.
Hitting the crickets.
Yeah. Okay. Hit me with the
Right.
crickets. Yeah. Many people think the gays are to blame. I say being gay is fine, just as long as you use lube when you rub your sticks together. You can hit me with the cricket on that one. Thank you.
I'm so
I love how
wow.
offended Tom and Christina were at the thought of cricket. And
Yeah.
They were like they were both had this visceral.
They're like, what?
Yeah.
It's funny too, because I don't have that problem.
They're comedians.
I know, it's funny. It's amazing to see. They're
Yeah.
both really like recoiled at the sound of the cricket. That's amazing. I love those guys. They're so freaking awesome, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
What else we got here? Oh, we got some. Should we go on to fan submissions? We're at an hour 45.
Yeah.
It's time.
Joshua McCarty says, "Hi, I'm a big fan of the show and thought I would suggest showing this gem of a video. I'm from Eastern Kentucky, and my local news station had a segment about a robbery. I won't say any more, but I encourage you to watch and enjoy." Thank you, Joshua, for thinking
We've
about
been
it.
getting some really great clips from
Yeah, I want to say,
submissions.
guys, keep sending shit to
Yeah.
podcasts at H3H3 Productions, because there's been some absolutely great stuff there. I want everything. I want questions. You need advice. You have any reaction, any suggestions for reaction videos? You like what you see?
It almost looks good. On
That's
that,
what I was saying.
On one side.
Yeah, when I looked in the mirror last night, I was like, damn, boy.
Would
That's
you
why I
ever
had you turn your head.
do your hair like that, though? You wouldn't.
Fuck no. No, I don't.
That's
Why? Would
funny.
you? What? You think I could walk
No,
around like
because
this?
you agreed that it almost looks good. So.
Well, what I mean is that it looks like a style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could get away with it, honestly.
It's just not.
Not the side you're showing us right now.
Not yet. Not that one.
Yeah, no. And yeah, maybe not that side.
That one
either.
looks like you evacuated while getting a haircut.
It's just not my style. I'm not slamming the style. It's just not my style.
Yeah.
That's all. But I swear to God, it felt so good to do it all the way down. It's really, really amazing.
It grows so fast. It's already like.
It was the skin 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder if there's research about hair stubble. Research found that men were more attractive when they weren't completely bald to the skin.
Zach just pointed out you actually look like the dude from it's Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. We wrote out a bunch of.
We had a
insults
bunch
for my
of.
hair.
That was one of the insults.
We had. I looked like Mr. Clean's inbred cousin. And then, how do you look like? How do you look like a Jew and a Nazi at the same time?
Yeah, but that it was really shaved, and it looked like it when it was super
Looked like
shaved.
a skinhead.
Yeah.
We had a lot more. You look like definitely a Taxi Driver reference at the end there.
Kind of torturing people. People are going to be demanding this video now.
You know, it was really bad.
You're not missing anything, folks. The haircut's the best part. You're getting all the good memes. What else? There were so many. I'm gonna look. Like we got nothing to do. We're at the fucking.
We got this video from the fan.
Yeah, no, we have this video.
No, I'm gonna watch that. I want to at least enjoy what little jokes. I want to salvage whatever I can from this.
There wasn't much more than what we said.
Let's see. You look like a 90 villain extra.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay.
Those were all meant for me to say to you.
You look like a dollar store Zorg from Fifth Element. I think my favorite is how do you look like a Jew and skin at the same time and Mr. Clean's inbred cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got, guys.
Great video.
I just gave you the highlights. Yeah, we can just clip this and put this on our main channel.
But hopefully we are going to start over and make a new video.
New subject.
New everything.
And hopefully I can leverage this haircut into a new joke. Because I don't want to waste a broccoli assassin cut for nada. I was calling this the carrot cut. Because the broccoli was more about the crown, and the carrot is more about the stem.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a carrot cut. If I had spray tan, I could be a real carrot cut. Like a nice orange hue.
We could make that happen.
All right, let's watch this. Thank you for your submission, Joshua.
Your home is never a good idea. A Floyd County man found that out for himself after having a gun pointed at him when he did just that. WYMT Sean Allen talked with the victim in that case.
Officials say meth is on the rise.
Meth?
And as a result, so is crime.
Oh, okay.
Must have been a bad batch around here because Floyd County's went crazy in the last 4 days.
Neighbors notified Mason Tackett that his cousin, Philip Matthew Higgins, was seen carrying items from his house.
When I finally got down here to the house to look see what happened, the door was standing wide open. It looked like he was packing up for a yard sale when he come out.
And that
By the way,
is when
this
he
shot,
confronted Higgins.
this shot cracks me up. What is he, like 1 inch tall?
Yeah.
It's like a chase through grass. It's like
from his point
what
of
is this,
view.
a mouse perspective? Yeah.
It's when he confronted Higgins.
He was lying, throwing his hands. And
Or is it that
saying
tall?
Stuff like, I didn't do
An
it,
inch
I didn't
tall?
do it,"
No, it's
you
not
know
that
how
tall. That's
rogues
grass.
do, and blaming on everybody else.
The confrontation
I love this guy's
took
accent.
a
It's
dangerous
incredible.
turn
Yeah.
once Tackett found items belonging to him.
He did pull a gun on me when I got back around the house because I guess he thought I was upset with him.
Items not normally the target of a would-be burglar.
Who steals a cheese grater? He's got the works, Lysol. He stole an empty bottle of spray. What got me the most was my soap. He stole my soap. Who steals soap?
Philip Higgins is charged with receiving stolen
amazing.
property and being a convicted felon with a firearm. In Turkey Creek, Sean Allen, WYMT Mountain News.
Such a legend.
Tackett.
It's hard to
Items
believe
not-
that's not a sketch.
Yeah.
Who steals soap? He stole. Who steals a cheese grater?
That guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. His accent is amazing.
It's amazing.
Gosh.
Yeah, what did you say? Kentucky?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kentucky. Golly. I feel like that deserves a golly. I feel like that deserves a Jiminy Cricket.
I feel like you could say anything with that accent and it would be funny.
Amazing. I'll tell you what.
No.
Okay. Thank you. You saved me. Hit me with that cricket. You got to just.
I
keep your
feel
button
bad
though.
using it
I
after
don't feel
Tom and
bad. No, it's
Christina.
fine. Hit me. Well, yeah. I don't mind
It's
it.
like,
I really don't mind it, Hila.
can't use it anymore, so.
Golly, Jiminy Cricket. Who steals a cheese grater? He stole my nanas.
I gotta find something new.
A boo. Just boo. This was an interesting story. Taylor Swift apparently used to travel in a suitcase to avoid paparazzi. Now, Taylor Swift is one of the most famous people in the world, and so I can understand that trying to avoid paparazzi was probably a source of great discomfort and annoyance to her, to say the least. But the level that she went to avoid them was amazing, and I want to say is a testament to how annoying these people are, rather than that it should reflect poorly on her. That being said, it is incredible. Zayn, this what was it? One Direction.
No
Ian confirmed. Keeper of Culture has confirmed.
So this guy from Zayn says Taylor Swift was traveling around in a suitcase during the summer of 2017. And so I love that so here it is. Here's the alleged suitcase.
Now, Ian the other day explained to me that this was actually a rumor at the time and was like dismissed as just being kind of a meme.
It was just way too over the top to be real.
Right, but now evidently this guy's saying no, this is all really happening.
Taylor Swift.
So this guy is what they were dating,
Or they were friends. I know
they were
he's
on a
super
tour
famous.
together.
Yeah.
and now he's.
It's funny he's
They
outing her.
collaborated, yeah.
I mean, imagine.
I can't imagine that she's in that suitcase.
Also, it's such like an undignified thing for someone like Taylor Swift to be like,
Yeah.
all right, now curl up and get in this suitcase. I wonder if it's like well padded, if it's nice and cushy.
I was wondering. That's what I
Like
wondered.
velvet.
Or is it even like form cut to her? You know what I mean? Like it's a little like fetal position Taylor Swift slot that she just like.
I mean, she doesn't have that much space in there. Taylor Swift being transported in a huge suitcase from her Tribeca apartment into her truck. Fleet of cars, including 2 large Cadillacs and 3 SUVs, arrived at Taylor's apartment in Tribeca to move a large suitcase from her apartment.
Oh my God.
Also, dozens of Taylor Swift security guards were present to move this package carefully as Taylor Swift remains to be unseen for a long time. Now, I went and there's a bunch of other photos of this suitcase.
And for the audio listeners, just to understand, this suitcase is not that big at all.
Well, you would have to be
smaller than a person for sure.
You'd have
would
to be
definitely
laid
laid down.
prone, all crunched up in a ball, like if you're doing
Yeah.
a cannonball into a swimming pool. So here, some detectives have.
It's a little bigger than a regular suitcase. I feel like.
Well, it looks like a used for musical.
Yeah, that's what it looks
But
like.
you can see here. I mean, if anything, this is kind of a testament to how effed up this paparazzi
Oh,
shit is.
seriously.
Imagine you're willing to crawl into a frickin' suitcase. To have, well, you know what she's probably doing? She probably wants to go do something private. Maybe she wants to fly somewhere, go to a beach without everyone knowing what she's doing all the time, every day.
Yeah.
So if I get it. If you're trying to go hang out with all these vultures, like filming you and recording you, it's like,
Yeah.
You got to do what you can.
I always see videos of Justin Bieber and the paparazzi people driving him crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty aggressive with Justin. I've seen that shit too. He gives them shit back though. I like watching those.
Yeah, but there's a lot of videos where he's nice at first and they really push it, and then he's like,
Well, they start asking him really inappropriate
yeah,
questions.
or like getting in his way so he can't drive away.
Yeah, man. Fame on that level is really. It's so people need to appreciate how challenging and. I mean,
Those aspects for sure. I
I
mean, those
mean-
people are paid to try and piss you off. Literally. Like they're just there to piss you off, so you flip out and then it's a
And then
story.
they have a story,
Right.
yeah.
Just imagine that everywhere you go in public, people are paid to piss you off and record it.
Yeah, I mean.
So I hope that people have more of appreciation for what ultra famous people go through on a day-to-day basis. That it's not all just because I always hear this kind of sentiment of like, oh, you have no right to complain. It's like, tell that to somebody that crawls into a suitcase.
I mean, obviously, the riches and the fame that is nice, and I'm sure they enjoy that. But you're right; it comes with
lot.
some baggage. Comes with some serious baggage too.
A lot. Money doesn't buy you happiness. I guarantee and promise you that. It buys you a one-way ticket in a freaking suitcase. In this case, I thought that was wild. I was frankly shocked by that.
Yeah.
What else we got? What the frick else do we got? People are
The
trying to meme
wedding
on me
dress
now.
explosion.
How about that little Kanye goof?
Ian, do you have anything to say about this Kanye goof?
What goof?
The dance goof.
You want to come in here and watch it with us?
He's like shaking his head, please no.
Really?
There's not much to watch.
I just
give
like
that.
having Ian in here. I like Ian. He's nice. He's sweet. He's a great guy. He's got a good presence. You know. But if you don't want to, I won't force you. I mean, I understand that you have a choice. I'm not going to podcast rape you. But you are fired if you don't come in
Well,
here now.
should we show it now?
Yeah,
what
let's
we're
show it.
talking about?
Let me find it. There's a new meme now about what else. Me saying what else.
There is?
Yep.
Mm.
It used to be fascinating. Now it's what else. Sorry, guys.
That's funny.
It's been a long pod. Okay, where is it? I got a whole list of things here. What else? Do you see it in this document?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Can you highlight it for me?
Yep.
Where did I see it? There it is. Okay. Kanye has gone on stage dressed as the Joker. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think intentionally.
He looks like the Joker. I hate to say this, and I don't want to offend anybody, but he kind of looks like the guy that... I hate to say this.
So don't say
Maybe you shouldn't.
The hair color and the Joker is reminiscent of... Okay, I'm not going to say it. The guy that shot up the theater on the Batman.
Yes.
I'm not saying he's a shooter. I'm just saying it looks like the guy. Is that awful to say?
I mean, it's just the orange hair, right?
So.
Yeah. He looks like he's doing the Elaine dance kind of from Seinfeld. Ian, people have speculated that he's on drugs. Is that substantiated, or you think he's just having fun?
I think once the power of that music just takes over your soul, you can't do much but just let it possess you like that.
That's the drug.
Yes.
The beauty of his music.
Mhm.
Thank you, Ian. Welcome. He very much reminds me of Elaine, though. And
He's
then
a little bit of a goober just in general. Like
he's
I
having
mean,
fun. What am I talking about? Why am I being such an asshole? He's having a good time, man.
Yeah,
Look
he
at
is
him.
having a blast.
He's
He is having a
letting it go, dude. Dance like nobody's watching. That's what they say. Why's everyone got to judge the guy for having a good ass time? Why people got to say he looks like the shooter who shot up Batman theater?
Yeah, who's saying that?
Fucking idiot. It's ignorant. He's having a great time, dude. I wish I could go out in public and dance like that. Dude, get it.
I heard that people were really happy with his performance. I actually haven't seen it.
He's having a good time, dude. Look at me being a... Yeah. Let's see what they're saying. Somebody's good. Yeah, whatever. I don't need to read. Imagine reading Reddit comments on live on a podcast.
Well, it's been 2 hours.
The wedding dress is very short, so let's wrap it up here. Texas woman declares, Texas woman celebrates her divorce by blowing up her wedding dress. Well, I can see that was a healthy relationship. Man, what the hell did that guy do to you? There's like a whole party here to celebrate.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
That's crazy. That's a serious explosion.
That was a lot more than I expected.
Yeah.
I thought it would just be like a little M80 or something.
That's a real
I
explosion.
don't know what that guy did to her, man, but ooh,
Good thing they divorced.
Yeah, she is free.
It's a good thing you guys got divorced. Yeah.
All right.
Guys, we're thinking of doing an extra episode on Tuesday. Now, me being a fan of the Howard Stern Show, they have this segment called Cleaning Out the Computer, which is all the segments and all the stuff they had planned that they never got time to do on the show. Thinking of setting up a panel here with Ian and Dan to join us and to go over all the great things of the year that we never had time to get to. Doing an extra episode on Tuesday. Let me know what you guys think about that idea. Not that, well, who watches this deep anyway? If you're watching, type in the comments. What should they type in the comments?
Kermit the Frog loves Miss Piggy's big titties, right?
Yeah,
that's the classic.
Yeah, that was the big one, but I want a new one. Did you know that I read this? That farts used to be actually a danger to public safety before people started wearing underwear, because you would actually fart out aerosol shit particles, and people could breathe them and get sick.
What the fuck?
I swear, that's what I read. That's why people wear underwear. They invented it back in the day. So,
How much does underwear do?
Where did you read this?
I read it. I don't remember, but it seemed credible. But that your farts obviously are passed through the fabric, so the shit particles are not allowed to freely enter your neighbor's face. But look that up. I swear.
So going
check me.
commando is like a public health nuisance.
Well, no, I think through the pants you're probably fine. But if you're like bare ass farting, I don't know. Look it up. I swear. Fact check me right now, Hilo.
I am.
Hilo's all fucking.
I think that whole statement about farts being dangerous, that's what people should type if they've stuck around this deep.
Type this. Did you know farts are dangerous if you're not wearing underwear?
Done deal.
And then if I see that, I'll know that you want an episode on Tuesday. Well, if you watch this deep, you probably do want an episode on Tuesdays. This isn't a good sample size necessarily. Let's end this. Guys, have a blessed, beautiful Friday. Thank you all so much for watching. And again, I want to thank you guys, too, for all the nice comments. The episode before last was unexpected and amazing. Yeah, no, I mean, there's been a lot of criticism, which I'm happy that I've acknowledged, but there's also been a lot of love and support and understanding, which I have a tendency to focus on the negative and dismiss the positive, but that's so messed up. And to everybody who takes their time to show support and love, it means so. It's so important to me. It's so appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, truly. So, with that being said, I didn't mean to do that one. I'm sorry, you guys.
No, the audience loves that one.
Yeah.
I meant to do that. Well, I'm not going to touch the sound part. Thank you all. Have a blessed, beautiful Friday. A wonderful, productive, happy, wholesome weekend. There's a good chance we might be here on Tuesday. Bye. And Friday. And then the week after, Bill Wirtz, which I'm very excited. Also, was there any progress on getting, what was his name? What was his name, that comedian I love? I'm blanking. You were in touch with him.
Then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Ryan.
Is it Ryan? No, it's not.
Or Brian.
Regan?
Brian Regan.
Brian Regan. There you go.
Oh, I love him so much. So he might be coming on. There's no plans.
We are also planning to do a charity stream like last year.
Yes.
And that might be the last episode of this year.
Right. That's on
in
what
December.
day? What the heck was that?
Cheering? I don't know.
We've officially run out the outro song. It's looping now.
Oh, shit. Well, okay, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. We got plenty of time to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have time to talk about it.
That was going to be on December. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We love you. Wish you all the great
Thanks
and dang
for
best.
watching.
We'll see
Have a good
you
weekend.
hopefully on Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.